Hello everyone, and welcome to Creatio's Accelerate Global. I'm Barney Holmes with Meritus Business Solutions, a leading business consulting and software development company. Thank you to the incredible team at Creatio for hosting today and for the tremendous effort in planning, coordinating, and compiling an agenda with rich, valuable information. We are pleased to be here today to discuss Sales Excel, a mobile application available to all Creatio users on the marketplace and on the Apple App Store, which takes advantage of mobile device technologies to empower the sales team to do more faster. We've implemented Sales Excel at our customers to a great degree of success to solve the ever-growing need for mobility, to access and to react to key information anytime, anywhere. Businesses continue to evolve, as does the need for a competitive advantage in the field. And in a world where anyone can automate ideas in minutes, companies and users demand higher mobility. Sales Excel is complementary to the Creatio mobile application and purpose-built for your field sales team. Sales Excel's objective is to immediately add value with thoughtful and usable features accessible to all. Here's an overview of the core features. Mapping functionality with the ability to overlay accounts and contacts. Intuitive filtering allows you to find information that you're looking for with never more than 1 or 2 clicks. Contact Rolodex allows you to interact with your contacts as you would on your standard device. Trip planning and execution allows you to configure your route, set it up manually, or use Google's route optimization. Route execution allows you to track all the key data points, track when the trip is started, when you check in, when you finish the trip, identify the distance traveled between the different waypoints, and keep historic information for future reporting purposes. The dashboard is a useful tool to work as a day planner where you can track your to-do items, capture notes on the go, associate it to your accounts and contacts and not lose that valuable information. Have a full activity log, as well as being able to see your upcoming appointments, see your upcoming trips. KPIs allow you to be able to have a quick access to your customers, to your contacts, your prospects, as well as updating opportunity information. The application includes detail-related information. The opportunities allow you to be able to update, track statuses, and immediately set the information as you receive it versus updating it later. iOS integration allows you to be able to share documents through applications, immediately upload a PDF or a PowerPoint presentation from the application you're working in without the need to load Sales Excel. Capture attachments using the camera roll. A multi-device allows you to operate on the iPhone or take advantage of the larger real estate on the iPad. Multi-language, an ever-growing list of language packs. Hopefully your language is supported now, and if not, hopefully it will be soon. Bidirectional synchronization, real-time synchronization, which leverages iOS's background syncing to ensure that the device recognizes the patterns of usage and makes sure that the data is there when you need it. Synchronize on security or synchronize on selected records using a folder of your choice. Import contacts from your local device and share a contact and save that referral as a connector to directly in your Creatio database. So let me drop back and do a day in the life and demonstrate how many of our users are utilizing Sales Excel to improve their day. I've now launched Sales Excel on my phone and I'm looking at my CRM information. You can see how displaying your contact information on a map really gives you a different perspective. It also solves for a couple of use cases. If your sales teams work in territories that are geographic based, it allows you to be able to zoom in and identify contacts in high concentration areas. You can schedule appointments to be able to get the most value out of your trip. You could also use proximity to identify contacts that you haven't spoken to in a while and possibly reconnect with an old relationship. The system is designed to allow for easy access to all information. Intuitive filtering allows you to be able to look up on name, You can search for customers with activities, recent activities. You can toggle for opportunities and show those accounts or contacts where you have an open opportunity. I'm going to come in and change this to only show my account records. Now when I come in and toggle this to only show contacts, you'll notice the performance. This is because all the information is currently on the local device and written to be as optimal and efficient as possible. We allow for advanced filtering, but this is hidden by default. I'm going to come in and search for a contact Billy. And when I look up his record, I'm going to jump to his profile and I'm going to select a map to allow me to navigate to his address on a map. Now when I zoom out, I can take a look based on proximity, other contacts or accounts in the area. When I select a record, I get a quick snapshot of information, as well as quick actions that I can perform from here. Phone, email, complete an activity or schedule a meeting. I can ask for directions or do a trip. I also have the ability to switch over to a card view, where this shows me a filtered list based on my map filters. And I have quick actions. Now I'm going to do another use case. I'm going to come and look up a contact, Jeff. Now when I go into the contact profile, I have access to the same quick actions as I did in the other areas of the application. When I choose to navigate to his location on the map, I can zoom out and see other areas or see other contacts in the areas. You'll notice that Jeff's record is indicated in purple. I can turn this off with the flag icon. That indicates the searched for record. Now when I go in, I take a look at the card view, I can see the other contacts on that filtered list. I'm going to choose to say, let's create a trip by clicking on the trip icon. When I add that trip, it's going to say new trip or add to an existing. I'll say new trip. I'll enter a trip name. I'll verify the number of contacts within that trip. And I'll capture my notes. I'm able to use dictation. And let's hit submit. This is now going to create the trip, as well as it's going to break up and create different waypoints based on each of the account's addresses. I can choose to edit this trip. I can also choose to set a particular start location or an end location due to the fact that I know I'm going to be in the area and traveling from a hotel versus my home location. I'm going to remove a contact from the list that I'm not going to have an opportunity to meet on this trip. And now I can choose to move items around and reorder them manually, or I can let the system utilize route optimization by calling Google's route optimization function. I'm going to say optimize route, and that's going to come back and display on the map my optimized route. Now when I go back to the list, this allows for route execution. You'll notice it's given me indicators of the time expected for the trip, as well as the total distance of the trip. And when I hit start trip, it's now going to give me a visual indicator. I can navigate to the contact's profile directly from the trip. I can see the necessary information, and I can choose to check in. This will give me an indicator as well. Now, I could go through, get all the contacts information. I can look at recent notes. I can see all the related information that's important to me before I have my meeting with the customer. If I go in and take a look at notes, now I can see my most recent activity or any notes, making sure that when I'm having a conversation with the customer, I'm up to date. Now, you can complete the different activities or capture notes from the profile, or you can do it directly from within the trip screen. I'm going to complete an activity. I'm going to say met with Ed. And let me go and set the status to completed. capture notes and use dictation again. And when this is completed, I'm going to hit submit. And that will create the record. Now I can continue to work through this and check in and complete meetings, but for purpose of demonstration, I'm going to jump to the end and hit complete trip. Now that's tracked all the necessary dates and times of that trip. Let me come back to my map and I'm going to hit on contacts. This gives me my contact Rolodex, which behaves like my iOS device. I can search for Kelly, can bring up her profile, and I can easily access the information that's needed for me. I'm going to use the attachment feature, and I'm going to go in, click attachments, and I'm going to use the camera roll to add a new contract. And this could be of a contract, a signed contract. You can upload it directly into the host database. Take the screenshot, upload, and I'm going to come back. Now the next feature that I'd like to show is the dashboarding. Now click on dashboards. The dashboard is meant to give the salesperson a work journal, a place to capture all the activity throughout the day. I can filter on a different salesperson, or I can use it to look at my pending to-dos. If I open up my to-do, it runs like a running list. I can add a new to-do. And I can capture my notes. And when I'm done, I can hit submit. This also allows me to be able to sort of make updates. I'm going to come in and I'm going to look at my recent notes. So what's important here is as you're tracking those to-dos, as you're tracking the notes, you're not losing the notes. They're immediately being tagged against your different accounts or contacts. I can see my upcoming appointments, my trips, KPIs for my completed meetings, calls, to-dos. I can see KPIs for my customers, prospects, contacts, and opportunities. I can click to add a new opportunity. Let me add a title. And let me associate this to an account. I'm going to search for, select, and I'm going to choose to associate it to a primary contact. I'm going to associate it to Ed. I'm going to capture any other information I need, and then I'm going to hit submit. This will create the new opportunity record. You can see my opportunities increase. What I'd also like to show you is how the integration works. Here's my email client. I'm going to open up a PDF document, and I'm going to choose to share the file, and I'm going to open up Sales Excel. When I open up the file, I can now choose to share it with a different entity. I'm going to select contact. I'm going to upload this to Ed. And after uploading, that will share and immediately be available on the host database. Now, the next item that I'd like to show you is when we come back into the map interface, and I can choose to add. Let me go back to map. Now, when I hit the plus symbol, it allows me to be able to add either a contact, add an account, or import my contacts. I can choose to select all, which will allow me to import in batch or import only selected records. The next what I'd like to show you is how this looks on the iPad. You can see on the iPad where it gives you a sort of different representation based on the screen real estate available. So all the same functionality. I'm going to zoom in and look at a particular area. As I pinch to zoom, I can see where most of my contacts are in a particular location, and it solves for the same use case. So if I search, or if I zoom to look for contacts based on a particular proximity, When I search for a record and I bring up the profile, you can now see how it takes advantage of the real estate. I'm going to look for that record on the map, and I'm going to look for other contacts in the area, and I'm going to go through and schedule a trip. And you'll see how the trip planning, trip execution works the same on the tablet. There we go. I'm going to create a new trip. Going to capture notes if needed, hit submit, and you'll see how this creates the trip. Same, it's gone and categorized, broken it up into different waypoints. I can set my start and end location. I can remove a record. I can move items around. And as I delete a record, let me set the start and optimize right. It's going to immediately optimize. It will come back, it will display it on the map, and I have the same options with the execution. If I go to the contact list, it now takes advantage of a split screen, and it shows me my contact information with the tab profiles. It allows me to be able to sort of easily switch between the different tabs and choose to edit the record. My dashboard, same information, laid out appropriately. So another option that I'd like to discuss is the private label version. So many of our customers use Sales Excel as the starting point for their mobile solutions, and this gives them a solid foundation, but then allows them to sort of take the Sales Excel platform and customize it to meet their needs. They can take advantage of the synchronization engine to ensure that the data is available. They leverage security and many of the core functions and features like the mapping, the dashboards, and the contact access. So one of the companies we work with is in financial services, and they'd been sort of considering implementing a custom mobile application for quite some time, and they'd spent a lot of time meeting with their end users and sort of discussing use cases and trying to understand where they go and what their minimum viable product would be. And when they took the Sales Excel application and demonstrated it to their end users, we found that there was actually a very close match between the user's needs and what the application met out of the box. Interestingly enough, some of the feedback was they weren't necessarily sold on the mapping feature. They all felt that they knew who their financials were, the financial advisors were that they work with. They knew who they interacted with, and they just didn't see that they would get much value out of the mapping interface. Interestingly now, about 12 to 18 months after using the application, the feedback that we've received was the mapping was a huge success. It allowed their team to be able to truly understand their territory. So when you're working with 15 to 20,000 different financial advisors, it's impossible to really know everyone. So having that mapping interface really gave them that understanding of who's in their territory, who are they connected to, who have they not spoken to in a while, and allowed them to be able to build relationships with advisors that they hadn't spoken to in a while. And another use case that they're using the application for is they needed a solid mechanism to be able to deliver content to their field sales and to be able to give them one clean interface. So we use Sales Excel as a delivery mechanism to get them the data, and we query multiple different internal data sources to be able to compile information and then display it in dashboards in the Sales Excel platform. So we're showing a daily product performance report, and it's compiled and updated frequently throughout the day as new information is received. And we have a daily regional manager report that actually shows daily up-to-date sales and transactions. So the feedback we've received from the field since deploying the application is it's been absolutely phenomenal, and the application was nominated for an award, and it's not often sales teams nominate a CRM product for an award, and the application won. So we're very pleased, and at that customer they have now selected on essentially continue to invest in mobile. So mobile is a major initiative for them. They continue to invest. We're in, I think, our 4th iteration or generation of the application, and there's lots of good things coming out of their mobile application. Another customer that we work with is in the healthcare space, and their field sales users are program directors. They have over 1,000 program directors in the field interacting with the application on a daily basis. And one of the biggest issues that they had was their job is to go out and essentially meet with different physicians and identify the physicians that they should meet with to drive referrals back to the center. And one of the biggest issues they had was that there is over 500,000 approachable physicians in the specialties that they're looking with. And even when you divide that out into 10 different territories, you're still looking at 50,000 contacts or 50,000 physicians that they need to interact with. They weren't sure which physicians to meet with, and they essentially continue going down just the same trips that they were visiting before. So with Sales Excel, it opened up many opportunities. We created a scoring mechanism based on specialty, proximity to a particular center, and the number of interactions you've had with that physician. We incorporated the scoring mechanism into the Sales Excel application. We leverage Creatio to be able to do different processes and execute the processes behind the scenes, which essentially realign the scoring mechanism. And now the program directors can go into the Sales Excel application, can essentially go and filter the map to say, show me all of those physicians in a particular proximity that have a score over 60. And this allows them to be able to identify physicians that have a higher probability of referring. They've then targeted their efforts on these physicians, and they've had huge success. They've seen improvements and increase in referrals across the board. And very similar to the financial services company, mobile is now a major initiative in their organization, and they truly are leveraging the mobile capabilities as a major competitive advantage for them in the field. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration and take you through the physician application that we're using for our customer. Now I've brought up the Sales Excel private label version that we've done for the health services application. And when we take a look now, what we're doing here is with Creatio in the back end, we've added a territory management module. So for all the physicians that are approachable, we've essentially gone and assigned a territory based on a geographic or a zip code location. We've defined different rules. So we have a business process that runs through and associates physicians based on their territory assignment to different program directors. So that information is then delivered via the synchronization onto the program director's mobile device. So they always have the up-to-date physician information. We're loading physicians into the Creatio system using data.gov to have access to updated physician information. And as soon as data.gov publishes updated physician information, we take that and we apply it, and it synchronizes out to the device. So yeah, looking at this particular example, I have a territory defined for the Chicago area. And when I zoom in and take a look, the performance is the same as when I was demonstrating it in the base Sales Excel application, simply because one, a lot of time and effort went into focusing on how we do the map, how we do the clustering, how we're doing the actual display of the information, as well as the data is available on the local device and the geocoding is updated. In this case, because the data set was larger, we leverage business processes inside of Creatio to go through and geocode batch data. If the data wasn't geocoded, it does take care of the geocoding on the actual device. Now, if I zoom in and take a look, I'm going to filter down and I can go and see different information. I can still have the card view over on the top left. Now, as you'll see here, we've modified the card view specific to their needs. So we've included the snapshot information, the name of the physician, the physician type or the specialty, whether they're active or not, and then a couple of key metrics. The number of referrals that they've had prior year and year to date, when was their last referral. We've just made sure that the information that they need is accessible immediately. So I'm going to jump back and I'm going to take a look. They also have the ability to capture a physician while out in the field, or now when we do the filtering, in this particular case, we have the ability to go and search for geographic filters based on whether it's in their primary area or the secondary area, and that ties into the zip codes associated to their territories. We also have the ability to search on all different specialties. So if I had to search for general, I could bring up general surgery, general practice, multi-select, and go apply filters, and it's going to show me the physicians that meet that criteria. I could come in and I could change this, I could do a reset of my filters, and immediately it updates. So in this case I want to go and say, let me go and meet with a specialty of a cardiology. I can go and hit apply, and there it's going to show it. If I jump back to the list, I can see all the information for cardiologists. Now when I go back to this, here's the scoring mechanism. If I clear cardiology, but I want to say, show me all of those with a score greater than 60, apply this, and then I bring it up, they can now see, here's the physicians that you need to be scheduling your appointments with, going out and meeting. And we also have the trip functionality. So typically when they schedule a trip, it would be more for which physicians do I plan to meet with in a week versus where am I going to go in a particular day. We've received a number of good questions during the demonstration. I'm going to try and read through them and answer them as best as possible in the time we have left. So what if I have an Android phone? Good question. Buy an Apple. But no, seriously, we are reviewing timeline. The intent is absolutely to get it deployed into an Android as well. It will really be sort of defined in our product roadmap, which will be released soon. What information does it sync from CRM? Is it just contacts? Also, what happens if I don't want certain employees to have access to larger accounts? So yes, the information we're synchronizing is not only contacts, it's contacts, accounts, opportunities, predominantly your all your related information, the core set of entities. There are some items that are not synchronized. For instance, attachments, we synchronize the header record and the attachment is received on demand, otherwise the size would be huge. Also a couple of additional data points such as your history and activity, just because traditionally over time it could get extremely large, is not synchronized, but we are considering synchronizing the most recent 10 or 50 notes to ensure that they are available on the device. So great question. With regards to security, I have the application up. Let me do a quick demonstration to show how it can be configured. So when you bring into settings, you can say change your folder for synchronization, and directly in here it allows you the ability to choose if you want to synchronize on one set folder, which will bring up the Creatio system and let you choose, or you can synchronize based on the security and roles and configuration in your standard Creatio system. So yes. Let me go to the next question. I've seen similar apps out there that show all your accounts on a map. What makes this application different from those other apps? There's a number of things. Obviously it's going to depend on the application that you're looking at, but one of the core benefits of the Sales Excel system combined with Creatio is the synchronization between Sales Excel and Creatio. We're leveraging the phenomenal sort of API capabilities and back end of Creatio, and we're bringing that information onto your device. Everything that you do interactive with your accounts, your contacts, we're not only displaying it on a map, it's interactive, and you can store and associate and update your CRM data directly in Sales Excel as well. Thank you. So thank you very much for the great questions. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I wanted to say again, thank you very much to Creatio for allowing us to participate and be here and present Sales Excel today. And to everyone, I hope you have a wonderful Global Accelerate event, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.